Imagine a grand stage where nations converge and the world stops to watch. Welcome to the FIFA World Cup 2026. It's not just about who scores the most goals, it's about who can outwit their opponents in every possible way. Picture this: teams from 3 different countries have formed an unlikely alliance, like a bizarre team of superheroes with different powers. How do they strategize? Well, let's dive into the bracket breakdown and analyze how this mega tournament unfolds like a thrilling game of rock, paper, scissors. Teams will face each other in a dance of tactics and strategy, where one wrong move could mean disaster, like choosing rock against scissors. Stay tuned as we break down every angle, every possibility, to see who will emerge victorious on the biggest stage of them all. Okay, imagine it: 2 teams stepping out onto that green expanse in their bright and bold kits. Mexico, with those iconic green and white stripes, versus Trinidad and Tobago in their fiery red and golden yellows. It's like 2 little kids playing a game of keep away. But this is no ordinary playground. This match could be the beginning of a surprise-filled tournament, where the underdog might just pull off an upset that sends shockwaves through the bracket. The group stage looks a bit more complicated than trying to win at tic-tac-toe, more like dodging a minefield or solving a really tricky puzzle. Whichever team finds the path less crowded will have a fighting chance, but both are going to bring their A game. Next up, we have the USA vs Canada. Think about it: 2 countries with shared borders and intertwined histories, playing for glory in front of a home crowd. How will their rivalry play out? The analysis reveals an interesting dynamic where history might just become destiny. Imagine it's like 2 siblings arguing over who gets to use the last cookie, but instead of a cookie, there's a trophy at stake. Both teams have a fierce determination to prove they're better, not just on paper, but in their hearts and souls. And with fans from both sides ready to cheer or jeer, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. One thing is for sure: if either team loses, the other will be celebrating like they've won the lottery and lost their keys. Then comes the Group B showdown: Mexico vs Canada. Picture 2 nations that speak the same language but have different political views, now competing on the field. It's like a family dinner gone wrong. You know, just imagine mom and dad forcing them to sit together at the table. Who will come out with the most satisfying plate? The bracket suggests it could be anyone's game. One team might be looking for revenge after a recent friendly match where they had a bit of an upset, while the other might be feeling cocky from their strong performances in qualifying. But hey, in soccer, anything can happen, and that's what makes this World Cup so exciting. Who do you think will be the biggest surprise? It could be the underdog, or maybe the team with the most goals scored during practice sessions. Just kidding. Who practices like that? Now let's talk about Team USA and Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine the tension: one team with a massive fan base and world-class talent versus a smaller nation that refuses to back down. This match could be a real test of wills, much like 2 boxers circling each other in a ring. It's going to be like watching a heavyweight champion go up against a scrappy underdog who's come out swinging from the first bell. USA has all the power and glory at their feet, but Trinidad and Tobago, they're the David to USA's Goliath, ready to prove that size doesn't always matter on the football pitch. The match could be a thrilling battle of nerves, where the smaller team might just pull off an upset, proving once again that anything can happen in the beautiful game. Alright, folks, let's get our eyes on Group C, where the USA goes head-to-head with Mexico once again. Can you imagine the arena packed to the rafters? The crowd is going to be a mix of American patriotism and Mexican pride. It's like 2 old rivals stepping into the ring for a heavyweight boxing match, each one with their fists ready and their hearts pounding. This could be the defining game of the tournament, filled with non-stop action, drama, and emotion. So grab your popcorn, because this one is going to be epic. Bracket says prepare yourself for something unforgettable. Now let's zoom into Group D and find ourselves in a tight-knit community square, where the locals are rooting for their beloved team Canada. Suddenly, an outsider from Trinidad and Tobago steps onto the field, much like a David facing Goliath. But here's the funny thing: size doesn't always determine victory. It could be a battle between hometown heroes and the underdog, with the fans cheering louder than ever. Who will emerge victorious? The bracket hints at a possible shocker, where Canada might just defy the odds with their passionate support and tenacity. Alright, let's dive into Group E for a moment. We have another epic showdown brewing between USA and Canada. Imagine the tension building up as these arch rivals face off again. The Americans are in a must-win situation here, so every second counts. Picture this: the roar of the crowd, the heat on their backs, and the stakes couldn't be higher. This match could literally decide who advances to the next round. The bracket is set, and it's going to be one of those nail-biting games you'll never forget. Now, let's look at Group F. Mexico versus Trinidad and Tobago in what promises to be a thrilling encounter. Picture the smallest nation stepping up against the giant, with the world watching. This could be the story of the tournament, underdogs making history. How will it play out? The bracket says brace for impact. Imagine a tiny bird taking on an eagle. Everyone's rooting for that little guy to fly. Who knew a cricket-sized team could make such a splash in football's biggest stage? But don't count out Mexico. They're no slouch either. This match is shaping up to be one of the most hyped group games ever. Brace yourselves, folks, because this could be an epic battle that goes down in World Cup history. Alright, let's dive into Group J, where we have a classic rivalry brewing between the USA and Canada. Picture this, they're facing off again, with everyone's eyes glued to their every move. This isn't just any match, it's a rematch that could determine who comes out on top in the tournament. The bracket is stacked, suggesting this might be one of the most watched games ever. It's going to be electric. Folks, two powerhouse teams with a fierce history making waves in the biggest stage of all. And there you have it, our FIFA World Cup 2026 bracket breakdown and analysis, packed with drama, surprises, and plenty of room for upsets. So grab your popcorn and sit back as the greatest game in sports unfolds before your eyes. It's going to be like a giant international version of Survivor, but instead of voting off contestants, we're seeing countries battling it out on the field. Who will come out on top? Only time in the tournament will tell, and if all else fails, remember, it's not just about who wins, it's about who puts on the best show. So let's cheer for every team, no matter their size or nationality. After all, that's what makes this tournament so special, because in soccer, everyone can play. Imagine each team is a character in a grand story, and they're all getting to strut their stuff on stage. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis. Who knows? Maybe your favorite underdog will pull off the biggest upset of all time. So grab some popcorn, turn up the volume, and enjoy the ride.